Superlative your team has first half. Your defense is controlling the game.
Well, thanks, Leaf. I would say so far the key has been that we have been alert on defense. So we got a lot of lacrosse left to go, though. This one's a long way from over.
Coach, your midfielders have done a sensational job penetrating and then finishing their shots. You think you have a big advantage at the midfield?
I would tell you, Quint, that the key for us on the midfield right now is that we're getting back on defense. I'm not really looking at that as much as I am at the fact that we're cutting them off in transition, not giving them those layups at the other end. You know, we can still shoot the ball a little bit better. I think we've had some opportunities we haven't gotten yet.
Dom, last question. You've taken Ryan Powell out of the game. Was that important to you?
Always important in a game at this level. You got our best kid on him, and that's a matchup that's probably going to have a lot to say with the game. And again, there's still a long way to go. All
right, back to your team, and congratulations on a great first half.
Thanks very much.
Dom Starsia and team owning the first half. 8-3 they lead. We'll come back with our halftime from Byrd Stadium in just a moment. Quint, we know about the Syracuse Orangemen and their dominance over the last decade, but in the 90s, they shared the spotlight with a great program in Princeton.
Princeton came out of nowhere in this decade, winning their first championship back in 1992 at Franklin Field, Pennsylvania. Overtime goal by Andy Moe. Princeton Tigers win the championship over Syracuse. 2 years later, it is Princeton's Kevin Lowe in overtime beating Virginia for their second championship. Scott Bacigalupo, their goalie, and Bill Tierney, their coach. Fantastic games. 2 years after that, Jesse Hubbard in overtime again beats Virginia for their third title of the decade. Terrific attack unit Princeton had during that run. Jesse Hubbard, John Hess, Chris Massey, crisp precision. They made it 3 championships in a row, 1997 dominating Maryland, and then last year at Rutgers University in New Jersey, they dominate Maryland again for their 5th national championship of the 90s.
They rebuilt this year, gave Syracuse all they could handle. Let's take a look at some of the superlative individual players. This is the first team All-Americas for this year.
John Grant Jr. from Delaware, Greg McCarra from Georgetown. 2 players you're watching today, Tucker Radebaugh and Ryan Powell.
In the midfield, Mark Fry for Loyola, sensational player. A.J. Hogan can light it up from anywhere. J.J. Albert, you're watching him play today. Josh Sims from Princeton in the midfield.
At the defensive end of the field, Ryan Curtis, stud defender for Virginia. Robbie Doerr from Johns Hopkins, and Steve Card, physical player from Duke.
And Q in the goal, Mickey Jarbo was acrobatic and very athletic. He is first-team All-America from Navy. Also in this weekend, when we can't not talk about the Division II championship.
This was played yesterday. Anthony Saccone scored 3 goals, and Adelphi defeated their Long Island rivals CW Post 11-8. That was yesterday. Brian Tower had a big game, 2 goals and an assist as Adelphi went on a 6-1 run in the opening 6 minutes of the 4th quarter. They took an 11-5 lead and coasted from there.
Our congratulations to Adelphi. We'll be back with more of our halftime right here from College Park as championship weekend continues from Byrd Stadium. College Park, Byrd Stadium packed with great lacrosse fans to see a sensational matchup of extremely talented teams. Syracuse and Virginia on a Memorial Day, the colors being raised to honor the veterans who have sacrificed for the United States. Hi everyone, Leif Elsbo back with Quint Kesnick. Quint, this went off to a real electric start for Virginia. And I tell you what, this is just the kind of start they had in the semifinal. They are really confusing and outplaying Syracuse.
They came out full of life. Their players shooting the ball so well, running up and down the field. Just too much pressure on both ends. Virginia looks so sharp right now.
Let's take a look at how they got a lot of these goals. They started off fast, and the action was furious around the goal.
Michael Leahy, #1, dodging left-handed. That put Virginia up 2-1, and then Hanley Holcomb scores unassisted 3-1. Drew McKnight, a lot of dodging, unassisted goals. That made it 4-1. And then watch Connor Gill on this assist. He takes the check, finds Leahy for Leahy's second goal. 8-3 at that point. And on the defensive end, they've been spectacular. Swarming Syracuse's attackers. Ryan Curtis with a ton of ground balls. And Kenny has not been tested very often, but he has made enough saves to keep Virginia alive for their championship. Liam Banks with a goal for Syracuse. And then Timmy Burns scored to cut the lead. It's a 5-goal differential right now, fueled by the Virginia defense. Derek Kenny, their freshman, has not really had to do much.
Memorial Day celebrating great lacrosse here at Byrd Stadium. When we come back, we'll see if Syracuse can solve the great attack scheme of Virginia.
He's
this site, making a lot of records. We know how successful this tournament has been here at Maryland. Future sites for the NCAA tournament. Next year they'll come back to Maryland and then go 2 years to Rutgers, which has also proven to be very successful as a meeting point for the great fans of lacrosse.
What has been so enjoyable is the convergence of all the different divisions. Division I, obviously, Saturday and Monday, but the Division II and III championships. Always so exciting to watch those athletes in the different divisions compete.
So the fans are getting set for these two teams coming back. Syracuse has a lot to bank on for comebacks. They've done it so many times. Let's look back at a Syracuse success story from our flashback.
1995, the Syracuse Orange wearing white that year, just with a devastating defense. Rick Beardsley, Chad Smith, Christian Fototopoulos. It got the offense going, and a freshman by the name of Casey Powell, number 22, gets the victory over Maryland right here at College Park.
And the SU faithful, the Syracuse fans, not giving up yet as their team is down right now to Virginia. When we come back, we'll get set for our second half action from Bird.
Turnovers in the first half, and we had to generate better shots. Seems like every time we took a shot, it was hitting a defenseman's stick or, you know, hitting something in the way, and we need to generate some better shots against this goalie.
Coach, how do you get Ryan Powell more involved in the offense?
Well, we're trying to. Ryan got hurt the other day, and we're using him right now to absorb Curtis a little bit, and he's doing the best he can, but he's got some back problems.
All right, John Desko, thank you very much, and we wish you luck in the second half as we look at the Syracuse Orange trying to regroup against a real complete effort by the Virginia Cavaliers. Really put it all together in the first half, 8-3, methodically just getting out in front with the same kind of fast action offense they applied in their semifinal game. Quint, this weekend, not only being Memorial Day, we are saying goodbye to a great friend in the game of lacrosse. Doyle Smith is saying goodbye to lacrosse fans after 30 years of helping not only the Virginia program, but everybody associated with this sport promote, keep track of the stats, promote the game of lacrosse at Virginia. And he has been here as long as this tournament has been here.
He's been named Man of the Year twice by the USILA, received the service award so many times. Back in the 70s, when lacrosse didn't get as much publicity, Doyle was the guy who got this sport going, a great ambassador for the sport of lacrosse.
We thank Doyle Smith, wish him well, and hope to see him in the future. Jason Hart comes down, works it back to Connor Gill. Virginia picking up right where they left off. Look at that move by Connor Gill. Up in front, but finally a big save by Mulligan. Whoa, Tucker Radeball had it in front. Connor Gill just shifted the defense of St. George right out of his shoes, and a pumping fist by Mulligan gives him his first save. That could provide dividends for the defensive end.
They outscored Georgetown University 6-0 in the third quarter. Let's see if they can do that again. Mulligan needed that big save. He is fueled on emotion.
Kataya, the big shooter, gets the defense on the ground, looks for help, doesn't have anybody. Hal came to help him. He had a moment there to really put some pressure on Kenny, didn't take advantage. Off the big save on the other end, Syracuse looking to open the second half with a score. Kaufman inside, Liam Banks working to the left hand, but the defensive checks of Virginia again put the ball on the turf. Here comes Curtis.
Curtis has been a vacuum cleaner in the defensive end. The swarming Virginia defense, too much for Liam Banks on that possession. Interesting that Syracuse has kept Ryan Powell's sore back a secret, and he's really been used as a decoy. So expect Matt Kataya for Syracuse to carry the ball more in the second half.
Connor Gill again behind the goal. Boy, he fake out Bill St. George the last time down. He had a wide open feed up front to Tucker Radeball. It was a big save by Mulligan to keep it out of the goal. Here goes Radeball again. Working in an isolation. The left-handed shot just locking up Josh Rule, keeping him out from any potential shot.
Exceptional position by big Josh Rule.
Alexander playing defense on Jalbert. Double team on Jalbert. He beats two players, takes the shot wide. Jalbert is so impossible to stop by one player. Two players find a hard time too. First half numbers, Quint.
That stat that jumps out at you, Syracuse only 1 save and 8 goals against. Robbie Mulligan struggling. The man advantage, Virginia capitalizing. 2 for 3. While Syracuse was 0 for 3.
And Quint Mulligan has doubled his saves already in the first minute and a half of the second half. He's got 2. Can the offense get clicking? Coyote comes in. Great position by Kenny. Doesn't give him a shot now up top. Big fake by Syracuse, but the ball again put down on the turf. Curtis Curtis just chopping wood, and he's hurt the Syracuse player with a great legal check. Syracuse has Alexander down on the turf. This is their best defensive midi. He can play both ends of the field.
Alexander, the senior out of West Jenny.
Left knee seems to be the focal point. Maybe just a wind. 8-3 the score. 5 goals separate. And in the first 2 minutes of this half, Quint, it's been the saves of Mulligan that have caught everybody's eye.
Watch the replay. You'll see Alexander twisting towards the cage. The sliding defense comes. Ryan Curtis has been all over the field today. Curtis looks like he kneed him in the back there as he was running over him. Matt Alexander last summer played for the Iroquois national team in the World Games, but I think that's just a bruise to the back. Curtis has been everywhere. His fitness level, incredible. His intensity, as we talked about earlier, son of Mike Curtis, Mad Dog Curtis. That's another look at Alexander.
I want to remind you of great programming on ESPN Arena Football. The Orlando Predators versus the Albany Firebirds, Monday, June 7th at the Pepsi Arena from Albany, New York. Merle Hodge, Mike Gleason bring you the 50-yard indoor war. 19 games on ESPN and ESPN2, including the playoffs, June 7th. And you can see it on ESPN2, this matchup in Arena Football. ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. So a great start on the defensive end for Syracuse. They seem to have found their goalie again, Quinn, as you look at Dom Starsia. Now they've got to figure out how to get some shots on Kenny.
You know, it's amazing coming into this game. You think that the goalie disparity is going to weigh in the favor of Syracuse, when in fact in the first half it was Kenny who outplayed Mulligan. But Mulligan seems to have found his footing now in the second half.
Jeff Cordisco and brother Chris with Burns on the second line. Hard shot about 6 feet to the right of the goal. It wasn't even close. Ryan Powell takes the ball behind with Curtis matching up on him. Now, 30 minutes to go in this war for the championship. Let's see if he can make an impact. He's open in front, gives it off to the wing. I thought he had a great shot there. He didn't take it. Quint, he was wide open for a left-handed shot.
He was. There was an unsportsmanlike foul, actually an elbow to the head. If you watch this play closely, a pick is set, and you can see Curtis now jawing to Powell. Watch the pick and watch the high hit right there. Matt Coyote set that pick. Curtis did not show enough restraint and hit the pick up high. That's going to be a 1-minute violation.
That angle also gave you a great view of what he was looking at. He had 36 square feet of net in front of him, and for some reason did not pull the trigger. Dom Starsia and Virginia have really outfoxed Syracuse on these man-ups by shutting off players. Now they're shutting off Kataya, leaving Powell open, making them play a 5-1-4, and they pick it right out of the air. Kuntz just picked out of the air the attempted pass by Syracuse. Great job. Virginia just dominating on the defensive end of the field. 0 for 3 on extra mans for Syracuse, and that's as much the story as anything else. Virginia futility on the offensive end.
Virginia will now look to kill some time. They've got to watch for a time violation as they haven't gotten the ball in the box. Now they do. Sensational play by Mark Kuntz, only a freshman. I talked about him earlier, a bright future star for Virginia.
Teams at even strength now, they've done a great job of just making it impossible for Syracuse to get anything going offensively. St. George strips the offense of Jay Jalbert. Good check from behind. Jalbert normally beating those one-on-ones. That time, St. George wins the battle.
Teams back to even strength on the far side. You can see Curtis back on the field. So Virginia does a sensational job killing off the penalty.
Burns, second unit, in close this time. Big fake. That is usually money in the bank for Casey Powell. This time, Virginia just wipes them out.
There is
Ryan Powell.
There is Ryan. Watch the replay. Let's see if Kenny makes the save. Ryan Powell, known for the dip and dunk. He loves to fake low, then shoot high. Kenny made that save. That's his biggest save of the day. The scouting report, if you watch any film on Ryan Powell, you know he likes to drop a stick low, the goalie drops, and he puts it over his shoulder. Kenny did his homework.
Great schooling there by Kenny, and he comes up with another big save. He's the story as much as anything. The defense of Curtis and company keeping Syracuse out of any comfortable offensive set. 5 goals separate the team still. Nobody has scored in the second half play here at Byrd Stadium. Leif Elsmo, Quinn Kesnick, ESPN coverage of the Division I championship game in lacrosse. Oki Hard shot right to the stick of Mulligan, who has been solid in the second half. Looks like his old self. It may be too late. Syracuse on the run. Watch out as they push the ball down, trying to get a shot. Working up front of Kenny. Here comes one wide of the net. It is unbelievable how they cannot put one on. Jeff Lowe brought the ball up, and they missed the cage again.
Ryan Powell, tremendous change of direction on that fast break, fueled by Jeff Lowe, number 1 for Syracuse. He had the big semifinal game.
Another hurt player down for Syracuse. They are falling. And Kataya now down on the turf. Syracuse being ridden hard all game by the great defense of Virginia, led by Ryan Curtis.
Unique to championship weekend is the fact that these athletes play 2 games in a 3-day span. It puts a lot of pressure on the training staffs and the athletes. All season long, teams generally get 3 or 4 days rest. This is unique.
A little bit concerned by John Desko, and you might know why, with Ryan Powell hurt, not 100%, and Kataya, considered by many to be the best shooter on the attack. If he goes down, this team will be very thin the rest of the way.
Kataya, 7 goals, 3 assists. His biggest game of the year was against Rutgers. The prior regular season meeting between these 2 teams, he had 2 goals, 2 assists. 43 goals, 35 assists on the season.
Takes 108 shots on the season, so he can really put pressure on you. We'll come back and see what happens to this attack unit of Syracuse. Kataya right now on the ground. Virginia still in control with that 8-3 lead. In College Park, Josh Rule the sideline, trying to pull it together for Syracuse. They are beaten badly, not only on the scoreboard, but physically. Kataya, Matt Kataya, their sensational attack player, along with Ryan Powell. That combination puts big pressure on defenses. You take him out of the mix, a little easier to focus on Ryan Powell, who has been handled so far today and is not 100%, we have learned. Nobody has scored the second half so far. Lee Felsmo, Quinn Kesnick bringing you this ESPN coverage of the Division I championship.
Powell and Kataya account for 47% of the Syracuse points this season. Syracuse, this is really their lowest production of the year. They only scored 7 goals in the first round of the playoffs in a victory over Princeton.
Doesn't take long for Liam Banks just to whistle that ball in bounds. Not a bad play by Banks. He came in and put big pressure on Kenny, and Kenny makes another big save. Great position, just puts his body on it. Meanwhile, on the other end, Virginia. Drew McKnight, far side with Marshall Abrams, great takeaway defenseman. Up to Jay Jalbert. He's a handful up in the midfield, maybe the most focused on midfielder on this roster. Virginia now already starting to work the clock a little bit, spreading their offense, taking their time. Leahy to Jalbert. Work the ball all the way around. Jalbert gets tripped from behind, and that'll be another extra man opportunity. Just wrapped from behind by Siglia.
Yeah, Siglia has a bevy of checks. You can see him yelling at the official there as he goes off. Watch the over-the-head check. Siglia cannot match up with Jalbert man-on-man size-wise. He's got excellent quickness, and as I talked about the checks, but somewhere along the line there, he gets his feet or stick trapped against Jay Jalbert, the outstanding midfielder, the first-team All-American for Virginia.
So this will be another extra man play for the Virginia Cavaliers. They lead by 5. Nobody has scored in the second half. Mulligan's made some big saves. He'll be pressed to make one here. Virginia 2 for 3 in their extra man so far. They have done everything well today. A team that really is focused this year, determined to give it a great, honest effort and win another championship. Not once since 1972. Connor Gill working way up top there as they take their time, moving it all the way around. McKnight now goes back to X again, trying to get into rate of ball. It's checked down. Connor Gill picks it up, wheels back to the left hand. He's got a shot that goes wide left. They're going to give it to Mulligan. Tough call there. McKnight was behind him. I don't think the referee saw. Ball on the field. They'll have to get that off. That's what the second whistle is.
Mulligan exploded out of the goal on this shot, and he beat Drew McKnight to the end line. Mulligan, I think one of his strengths is his ability around the net to get ground balls and make plays like that, come out, make a hit, intercept a pass.
But they seem to have solved some problems on the defensive end of the field, Syracuse has, but the offensive end is really a problem and has been since the opening face-off of the game. Just has been literally controlled by Ryan Curtis and the defense of Virginia. Davies against Liam Banks, the freshman. Casey Powell is on the field, along with D'Arcangelo, and no Matt Kataya. Went off with an injury a little while ago. Soliday driving in, looking for help, gets the double team, and still maintains possession. Ione whips it down low to Powell, and he can't get it in again. Great position by Kenny. It might have hit a pipe.
He hit the iron.
Unbelievable.
2 one-on-one opportunities in the second half for Ryan Powell. The first, a spectacular save by Kenny. The second, he had a beat with the multiple fakes, but he pinged the iron on the far side.
Leahy on the opposite end now controlling the ball for Virginia. Down to 7 minutes. No score yet in the second half. Virginia using the clock to their advantage. Shot in close, left-hander with a finishing shot from the far side. Tucker Radeball buries goal number 9. And a 6-goal mountain in front of Syracuse.
Tucker Radeball's first goal of the game. The senior has had an outstanding career. Watch Gill with the assist. Radeball catches, switch hands, straight overhand. Didn't have much angle there. You can watch Mulligan yank that one out of the back of the net. Again, catching the ball in traffic, protecting his stick from Marshall Abrams, and somehow finding sufficient angle to sneak that by Mulligan.
Left-handed goalie left a little bit of space along the pipe. Tucker Radeball found it.
One of the hardest working players in Division I lacrosse. Radeball, his off-season training is insane. He'll run 5 miles, live for 2 hours, do a kickboxing class. He is a tireless worker.
Again, the face-off control by Virginia. Stripped at the last moment, down close, and here comes St. George. Matt Kataya back on the field for the Syracuse Orangemen, and a big check from behind takes it out of St. George's stick. It'll be numbers for Virginia. They've got a fast break going. And now Syracuse hustles back in, and they push back the potential fast break of Mark Murphy. The second attack unit into the game halfway through this third quarter. David Bruce off to the wing to Jalbert. Can't quite pick it up cleanly, but look at that easy backup. That's going to be an offsides. Got to be offsides, and they make the call. The referee had to ask for help. And he got it. Burns from the midfield. 2 hurt attackmen. Kataya's on the field, and Quint, he's limping noticeably.
Yeah, he's got his ankle wrapped. He's on the far side right now. He is limping. Ryan Powell's got the back injury. Who is going to step up for Syracuse?
Ryan Powell looks a little more active. Comes in again with that right-handed shot, and Kenny again, with a great confident look in his eye, makes another save.
Talk about a team effort. You can see Kataya limping noticeably right there. His right ankle taped up. A team effort for Virginia, playing nearly all of their dressable players. They've got 30 guys in uniform today. We have seen numbers. It has paid huge dividends.
Ryan Powell against Curtis, driving for the right-handed shot. He's been working this side. Here comes the double. Powell looks for help, can't find anybody. Backside to Kataya, but he's not mobile enough to get that ball. Finally chases it down. Playing with pain, right ankle injured. Now looking a little bit more comfortable. Gets double teamed easily on the far side. Virginia making it impossible for them to get any kind of clean shot. Kenny making the saves when he has to.
Wise leader with a devastating slide there. Took the body so effectively before any angle was generated by that attackman. Virginia, all the right moves defensively. Sometimes they're not going very quickly, giving the guys the outside shots. Other times, they've slid with the body. Very effective.
And only 3 goals on the day. Soliday, Banks, and Burns. No Kataya goals, no Powell goals. It would be the first time this year that these guys are shut out. Virginia working behind. This is the second unit. David Bruce against Josh Rule. They'll be very active. They'll try to burn up not only time on the clock, but a little bit of energy on the defense. But this unit can score, Quinn. They've been effective.
Hanley Holcomb has 2 goals. 27 for Virginia. Battle back from severe knee surgery.
Bruce, right-handed shot picked out of the air by Mulligan. Mulligan has done everything asked of him in this half, but Syracuse has yet to solve the offensive side of the field.
Virginia has done a superb job getting back on defense. We have not seen the Orange run in transition.
Burns tried to get a shot. Somehow Virginia got a stick on that one and took it away from Kenny, who comes well out of the crease. Here comes Kenny, controlling the clear. Dropping it off to the near man. They can't get it to Murphy. Mulligan now out of his crease. He's in trouble. Finally dishes it off to the wing. More transition this time for Syracuse. They've got some numbers to his left. Here will be a shot coming hard. But Kenny, he's on top of his game, and he'll be tough to stop the rest of the way. Fast break for the Cavaliers. Great ball, trying to get it right back to the midfield. Ball won't roll out of bounds. Very thick carpet. The hit by Holcomb. They call it a push. A lot of hitting in this game. Let's take you a little closer to the action. Wiping out players all over the field.
Great end-to-end action. What a terrific flurry. Derek Kenny somehow got that ground ball 30 yards from the goal. He's been sitting in the net in 90-degree heat. And I think some of the field players generally will tire more than a goalie. He picked the